Next up, we have Egils Grasmanis with his innovation, conference games, innovation in the games industry. Round of applause.
Board games. It's a booming market. Last year was actually one of the most successful years for board games. It reached 15 billion US dollars and 20% growth. Definitely kind of the biggest segment of the toy industry. Why are board games so popular? It's because people love socializing. People love talking, getting to the table together and kind of diving into the world that is like even for everyone and having those emotions, social emotions. I mean, humans are social beings and we need to communicate. Communicate, have emotions and have fun time together. So these face-to-face emotions are important. I run a company called Brain Games that started in 2004 by localizing some board games into Baltic countries, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia. We are also publishing board games and also creating board games. One of our biggest success stories is a game called iSchool, which we launched in 2016, got over 20 different children game awards, and it's most awarded dexterity game and one of the most awarded children's games currently. In 2019, we published a party game, kind of in a bad timing during COVID. Party games didn't go that well, maybe, but at that time, Team 3 was one of the best party games of 2019. We also Brain Games. I mean, we're a team of more than 80 people. We run also board game stores, and we recently opened a board game cafe in Riga. So we have taken, at least in Baltics right now, we've taken the whole kind of vertical of the game industry, board game industry, and we have a very strong team that kind of knows a lot on the matter. And the most important is we have a team that is passionate and loves board games. Yeah, awards. When pandemic started and board game shows and events were cancelled, we started a Facebook Live panel, a weekly Facebook Live kind of discussion with the aim to try to create a game. Kind of, we were trying to substitute the experience that people have on the table to have it over video conferencing. And I invited different kind of board game professionals, and we were just discussing and talking and throwing around different ideas. But the biggest kind of challenge that we had is that we couldn't control the audio and video signals feed through the conventional conferencing platforms. And this is why we are working on our own, we're developing our own video conference platform that would be meant only for games. basically, yeah, kind of Zoom for games. And the one that is like casual and very easy to grasp and understand. We want to convey the face-to-face communication, and there's, of course, a big segment of games that, of board games that hits that segment, to playing face-to-face games over video conferencing. So, and developing engaging games that are purposely built for video interaction. Yeah, so Flockly is a platform for playing fun games face-to-face, and also that creates meaningful time together. For a board game, from the moment when a contract is signed with a game designer until the game hits the shelf, it takes approximately 2 years. For the platform, it would take about 2 weeks. We want to create games that are easy to use and doesn't have a kind of entry barrier of, let's say, reading the rules for the game, and games that are easy to grasp and play together with grandma or children. And the big part is we want to kind of create social games where audio and video information is being used more deeper in the game mechanics. So, and there's plenty of games also currently that would be so much better and easier actually to play and experience over video conferencing. And it's party games, escape room games, trivia, quizzes, everything that has social interaction among players. Corporate team building and education is of course two bigger segments, like B2B segments that we are exploring. Audience, so who is the audience who would be playing those type of games? It's families who want to connect, and in like different generations. I mean, board games is a segment where different age people can sit down and kind of dive into one world. So it brings together also generations. Children who want social connection, young adults who love to play socially, party games, and professional teams, team leaders who want to kind of do team building events, team building games. And of course also the educational segment, universities, schools. One of the games we're also kind of thinking to be one of the first ones on the platform is one of our IPs, Team 3, which is a physical game, which is a dexterity game, but we see that type of games could also be played remotely. So if you have one of the players has a physical product, you would be able to play it remotely. In this case, it's a game about communication, where in the left corner you see, well, the game has Tetris pieces, plastic pieces that you put together. And the task is, you as a team of 3 people, you need to put together the task that you see on the lower corner. But the challenge is the person who is building it does not see. So he would be building with the eyes closed. Over video conferencing, it would be just he wouldn't see the task on the screen. And the only person who sees the task is not allowed to talk. So and so the person who sees what needs to be built needs to gesture, and then there's a person in the middle who is trying to convey the message from the one who doesn't, from the person who sees the task to the person who can't see what needs to be built. So it's a communication team, like a team building team of 3. And of course, this can also be played. This could be. This is a way how for this game at convention US we had a competition where 120 people were playing simultaneously. Doing it digitally would allow it unlimited people to kind of play it as a team in a competition way. We have already also talked to a couple of publishers that we have agreed with taking their games to our platform and having them available, like the physical copies. And one of them is Match 5 from Synapses Games, a Canadian small game developer, studio, publisher. Well, not that small, actually. Yeah. And the educational segment is something that we are also looking into. And there's an organization called Imagination Gaming in UK. Nigel Scarf is the guy in charge there, who he's done a lot of kind of jobs, a great job of bringing board games into educational segment in UK. He's using games in schools, and he's also very excited to help us and discuss how that kind of platform can be used in the educational segment. What we are doing is we're also building tools so that game designers or small studios or publishers can create their own games and also publish the games on the platform. So this is the way how we see to scale it to not only kind of our games. We want it to be a platform that has a lot of different games, and so that designers have the ability themselves to create games and publish them. So yeah, what we're planning to do is for the first year, we're planning to have it as a free-to-play after launch, and we're planning to launch in the summer of next year. And the main focus would be, of course, on the English-speaking markets, but with of course, we would. The thing that the platform will allow to kind of modify and customize games to local markets, local languages, local needs very easily, and also to, if needed, to kind of B2B segment as well. And we have had discussions and talks with some TV show producers that some of the games might kind of also evolve and be shown over as a TV shows. Yes, that's my presentation. Thank you. I would love to hear some questions or thoughts.
Right. So, questions.
Hi, Egils. So my question is, I'm not technical. Will I
Me
be
neither.
Will I be able to make my own game on
Yes.
the platform?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay.
That's the aim. Exactly. That's the whole point. I mean, all you will need mechanic. I mean, you're a game designer, so you have the the engine, which is the mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
So all you will need is to have the artwork, music if needed. So those are the things that you will need to add. And building a simple game mechanic will be easy with the tools.
And so then let's say, yeah, it's there. Do you also sell the physical games coming from that game, if possible and if wanted?
Well, we see it actually, very good question. We see it as a way how we can actually maybe even increase demand. I mean, we want to build custom games. We want game designers to look at this as not kind of bringing cards onto the screen. We want to kind of approach it as like you need to think that audio and video signals for each of the players is part of your game mechanic. So it's not only about kind of bringing the physical game onto the screen, which is, I mean, Tabletop Simulator, Tabletopia, a lot of platforms. It's about using video conferencing as an advantage to the game.
Yeah, I understand. But you will be able to say, okay, let's have that game published ourselves as a Brain Games game next to this.
It's possible, yeah, but I mean, this is not kind of Brain Games. This is a project that we're doing together with actually three more IT companies. So Brain Games together with IT. It's a new. It's kind of.
Okay, and the other question I had is how many people can be there in one game, in maximum? Can you fit into the screen? Where there's a limit probably.
Yes, definitely. That's the only limitation. So you can divide people into rooms, like you can. But of course, since our aim is to bring that face-to-face communication, that is the big aspect in board games. We want to bring it to remote playing, and of course, I mean, yeah, the physically seeing how big is your face is the only limit there.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to start thinking about what kind of game would.
Please do.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you. Any other questions?
So I have a question building on what was asked before. If you do not handle distribution, if you take a game such as the Tetris-like puzzle that you showed beforehand, what will be the player's incentive to essentially buy the game once for every participant instead of having one game that you would share with others like you would usually do as a board game or on competing online platforms? How do you solve the problem of the physicality for certain game pieces in these live conferences?
You mean the example of Team 3, for example, where you need a physical copy, yeah?
Exactly, yes.
Well, that's the way of like publishers of the physical board games that can be used as an advantage. I mean, if you buy a game that kind of that you can play, well, I mean, physically playing board games is always the best experience. We're not looking for a way to substitute that. We're trying to build an environment where we have or we provide a very similar experience over video conferencing, and physical board game publishers can use this actually as an advantage to the board game. If your board game can also be played remotely, it's a bonus for the physical game,
So
isn't it?
in essence, it's on top of the physical game to enhance the experience, but not instead of as an alternative.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. But so just to be clear, in general, I mean, we have a lot of experience in board games, in physical board games, but with this platform, it's not connected to brain games. It's connected to our experience with physical multiplayer, face-to-face, like social games, and building something that is remotely. And the most important, we want to create games like we see it as a new kind of genre of games. David?
So I see a huge potential here, but considering outside of physical games, can you touch a little bit on, because I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for ones that don't require the purchase of anything, that's all in-app or all within the platform. I guess what are some of the advantages of doing completely new games inside of a platform like this that don't require anything physical? And follow up, our second question, as you're trying to come up with new games, new content, are you guys currently, because there's such an open community of developers, are you currently looking for unique concepts to integrate just into the software and platform that don't require any physical property?
Answer to second question, yes. We are very we've developed something already, but of course we are in an early stage there, and we are looking for any type of at this point we're just building the ground, and we want to, of course, be open and cooperate with game developers. Anything that anyone who has kind of game or online or video kind of developing skills. And can you shortly repeat the first question? Sorry.
So, obviously the physical world has got its advantages for playing certain types of games. And when you go remote and you're now apart from each other, there's certain disadvantages to certain physical games. But at the same time, there are some advantages that you could have being remote from each other. Could you touch on maybe what some of the advantages of a platform like this might be for a play experience?
Definitely. Well, first is kind of the easiness that you will be playing the game. We're looking here at games that are short, involve easily, even people who haven't had any experience in board games, and in that sense we see a lot of potential. And with all the technologies that are available, there's so much kind of there are many ideas. We have many ideas with that are AR related or using kind of desktop and a phone. Like there are things that that technology can definitely give much bigger advantage. What we see that is lacking right now is this, face-to-face communication, and we see that it is possible. We believe that it is possible to convey it to remote playing. Does it make sense?
Okay, any more questions? If not, then thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Egils.